Tonight on CTV News, we have the March for Our Lives demonstration, as well as a look into how men at CSU are trying to deconstruct what the friend zone actually means.
Later on, we have how campus faculty and staff have started incorporating inclusivity training at CSU. And are you curious why so many students walked out last Friday? We have the answer here tonight on CTV 11 News starting now. Fines have been distributed following the kickoff of the ASCSU presidential campaigns, and be prepared to have a higher level of cybersecurity on campus. Good evening, CSU. I'm Kira Coles.
And I'm Sydney Paul. Let's get started. Last Saturday, demonstrators in the Fort Collins community gathered in Old Town Square to be a part of March for Our Lives, a movement dedicated to student-led activism against gun violence. This was just one of many marches that were taking place throughout the country.
Close to 1,000 people gathered in Old Town Square to support March for Our Lives last Saturday. Fort Collins for Progress, a nonprofit community organization dedicated to promoting progressive values, coordinated the march and invited a variety of activists to speak on stage.
And we need to treat it like one.
Once I just kind of understood that you can actually change political action with your personal opinion, I decided that I need to talk to as many people as I can, as fast as I can, to get it changed as quickly as I can.
Demonstrators joined in chanting campaigns to advocate against gun violence.
Change is now! Change is now! Change is now!
Several other nonprofit organizations like Moms Demand Action joined the march in support.
Well, we're here today supporting the students. I mean, up until now, they've been affected by this gun violence, but they have not had a chance to really speak out. And with the Parkland shooting, that has just opened up this whole amazing group of students that are just committed to making a difference.
Community members and student activists hope that the march will encourage a progressive conversation that will also educate the public on other places where gun violence can occur.
Gun violence is an issue that not only affects the people that most of the people here today have been talking about, students in schools, but gun violence is an overarching problem in our society that hurts people from every walk of life.
A wide variety of ages attended in support of the march, and it did not go unnoticed.
When I was in high school, it was Vietnam, and we were marching. Senior citizens didn't march with us. Today, we're seeing the whole family out marching.
Back then, we didn't have the intergenerational support, but we do today, and so that's what gives me hope for the future.
The March for Our Lives campaign plans on continuing to educate the public on gun violence in an effort to advocate changes for stricter gun reform policies.
As the ASCSU presidential race continues, the first campaign violations have been charged. Alec Bruce and Marina Winchell received their first violation the week of March 19th, following the publication of Bruce's last opinion column for the Collegian. Bruce and Winchell were both previously employed for the Rocky Mountain Collegian newspaper. Bruce was the former Collegian opinion editor, and Winchell was a former reporter for the Collegian Arts and Culture Desk, while both individuals have participated in CTV. Elections manager Tyler Seary explained the violation regarding the article stemmed from the fact that the article ran before the official time of campaigning. There was some debate over whether or not the article initially counted as campaigning. Seary wrote in an email to the Collegian. The Elections Committee, through discussion, came to the conclusion that the content of the article constituted campaigning, which is not allowed before the official start time. Bruce explained in an email to the Collegian that the newspaper was distributed on campus prior to 8 a.m., and this is a violation to the ASCSU Elections Code that states campaigns cannot begin prior to this time. A member of an opposing campaign filed a complaint, and after investigation, Bruce Winchell was found guilty by a vote of 8-3 and was fined $50.
Men in the Movement, an anti-violence initiative created by the Women and Gender Advocacy Center geared towards male-identifying students, held an event to talk about the friend zone on Monday evening. The talk was open to all genders, and participants discussed the dangers of society's expectations of masculinity and the effect that this can have on relationships and friendships between men and women. Members hope that events like this one will help raise awareness about the issues such as gun violence on CSU's campus.
Real issue that happens in our society and on our campus. And so understanding these issues is a good way to take a step towards stopping that kind of violence.
For more information on Men in the Movement, you can visit meninthemovement.blogspot.com.
With increasing issues of data leaks in the digital era, CSU will require students, faculty, and staff to use a two-factor authentication system beginning April 25th. This will require users to use two different methods to identify themselves, such as entering a username and password by adding a second level of authentication to the login process. Dave Hoffman, the project manager for Academic Computing Networks and Services, says there are two reasons to use the two-factor authentication. One, to better protect personal identity information of each individual on campus and to protect the intellectual property of the university, such as research information. At CSU, users will be required to use a phone or another token in addition to their username and password in order to complete the login. Registration for a second factor device began March 19th, but students and faculty can still register a second device by clicking on the Sign Up Devices button on the authenticate.colostate.edu website.
Yesterday, CSU faculty and staff gathered in the LSC for an Inclusive Excellence training. This was the second training of a three-part course through which participants can receive a certificate at the end should they choose to complete all the courses. The session, taught by Director of Campus Activities Lance Wright, says the importance of exploring one's own identity and understanding how privilege, power, and bias plays out on campus. The goal was to help faculty and staff acknowledge different identities in order to help make them more inclusive supervisors.
I was really upset that children are having to deal with death. It's never something that we have to deal with, and they've stepped up in an amazing way.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I...
This event is one of the many opportunities provided by CSU that focuses on helping making the school a more inclusive campus.
I think that the inclusivity training is definitely beneficial, and it seemed like a lot of supervisors really enjoyed it.
I think it's so great that we're doing stuff like this to make our campus a more inclusive place.
Definitely. Well, thank you for joining us tonight on CTV News. That's all the time we have tonight.
But don't go anywhere, because up next, Edgar Cedillo will let you know if snow is in the forecast for this week or if springtime will start to warm things up.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back from break, friends. Hope you all had a good start to your week. Let's look at current conditions right now in Fort Collins. 46 degrees is your current temperature, winds 8 miles out of the south, so it's still pretty breezy out there. And your sunset was at 7:19. Looking at lows across the state tonight, we have 31 degrees in Fort Collins, 31 in Denver, 27 down in Colorado Springs where they did get more snow. It will be cooler, 24 in Pueblo, 26 in Lamar. Down out west, 17 in Alamosa, matching that in Telluride. We got 20 degrees in Gunnison and 32 degrees in Grand Junction. Looking at your tomorrow's forecast, 55 degrees is your afternoon high, 29 is your low. Watch out for afternoon rain showers. They will be rolling in later in the day. Winds will be out 10 miles an hour out of the south. Your average highs are 58 and 31, so we are a little bit below average for the day normally. Looking at your 5-day for your hourly forecast, 8 a.m. we have 36 degrees, getting cloudier as you head towards 11, 48. Those rain showers do come in around 2 o'clock, so watch out for those as you head home from class. We have temperature 54. Around 5 o'clock, around dinner time, 52 and cloudy conditions. And then if you're studying out the library late at night, bring a jacket or an umbrella. It will be raining as you head home. Looking at highs across the state, 55 degrees in Fort Collins, matching that again in Denver. As you head south, it gets warmer, 61 in Pueblo, 64 degrees in Lamar. Sterling's at a 55 as well. Out west, Vail 54, 49 in Craig. And then as you head way out west in Grand Junction, 60 degrees, so it looks to be pretty warm out there. Looking at your 5-day forecast, 55 degrees for tomorrow again, so watch out for those rain showers. They will carry over into Thursday morning, so if you have early 8 a.m.s or 9 a.m.s, watch out for those. 51 looks to be your high, and then 28. Friday and Saturday warming up, 58 on Friday, and then 61. On Sunday looks to be raining again, and then watch out for more rain and snow showers again. So coming back after break, we have sports with Tara.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. Thank you for tuning in to CTV. I'm Tara Barr, here to catch you up with all the latest sports news from the weekend. As of yesterday, the quarterback situation became not so much of a situation anymore with the recruit from University of Washington, KJ Carter-Samuels. Getting Carter-Samuels was a stretch, but recruiting coach Brian Applewhite knew what it would take.
We're Colorado State. We're not backing down from anybody in recruiting.
Now adding a fourth quarterback to the roster gives CSU more versatility in next year's starting quarterback lineup. During Carter-Samuels' time at Washington, he completed 27 out of his 47 passes, throwing for 310 yards and 3 touchdowns. Carter-Samuels was a top 25 ranked quarterback coming out of high school. Since Colin Hill will be out due to injury, hopefully CSU will be able to fill his shoes for a 2018 fall season. Over the weekend, the CSU women's tennis team fell short to Weber State, losing 4-3. The Rams started out with a forfeit due to only being able to field 5 players in their singles lineup, giving Weber their first win. The Rams were able to win their first doubles match and tie up the score. Sophomore Riley Reeves and junior Emily Colwell had an excellent performance at court number 2 in their doubles, winning 6-0. Freshman Emily Luchschwager and Priscilla Palmero followed up with a 6-4 win on court number 1 to seal the doubles point for the home side. The Wildcats came back on top with winning their first 2 singles on courts 4 and 5. Luchschwager was able to keep the Rams in the game with a 6-3 and 6-1 win on court 1 in her first singles match. Unfortunately for the Rams, the Wildcats were able to clinch their lead on court number 3 in straight sets. The women's tennis team will kick off with their league schedule at home on Thursday against Utah State starting at 3 p.m. One of our very own sports anchors, Jared Strayton, is at the field right now where the men's lacrosse team is taking on Cal Poly. Jared, what's happening?
Thank you, Tara. Right now it's in the third quarter, and I'm at the intramural field, and it's in the third quarter with the CSU being down 6-4 early on in the game. In the first quarter, A.J. Stewart and Dominic Santer were red hot, scoring back-to-back scores within a minute of each other. Later on, though, in the second quarter, the California Poly scored 5 points to CSU only scoring 2 points for that quarter. So at halftime, the score was 5-4. Right now, though, Right now, the score being 6-4, we're hoping that A.J. Stewart and Dominic Santer can lead the comeback efforts to make CSU in their 5th game of the year. Right now, it looks like CSU just scored another one, so it's going to be 6-5. So 6-6. My apologies. Back to you, Tara.
Thank you, Jared. Hopefully men's lacrosse team can pull out another win just like they did against number 3 ranked Grand Canyon. The Colorado State's women's soccer team will kick off their first spring game of the season tomorrow, hosting UNC. The team is set to return with 20 letter winners and will add 7 newcomers to the roster of their 2018 fall season. The game will be hosted on our very own on-campus football stadium starting at 7 p.m. CSU men's club baseball team improved their record this weekend to 5-14 overall and 3-1 in conference.
Over the weekend, the CSU club baseball team played in a 4-game series against the Wyoming Cowboys. The Rams went 3-1 in the series.
Oh, really good. It's really nice to finally 10-run a team instead of going all 7 innings, just going 5 instead.
In the final game of the series, the starting pitcher of the victory talked about how important this win was for the Rams.
Of course, it's great to win. This one was a must-win, especially to win the series. So, it's just good to get that W.
Freshman Caleb Zelo batted 4 for 4 in the game with 3 RBIs and 6 runs.
I feel really good. Going 4 for 4, it's nice against anyone, so it always feels good doing it.
The Rams 10-run the Cowboys in the last 3 games of the series. So I asked Turo what changed from Game 1 to the rest of the games that were played in the series.
I think we just stayed loose and just knew that this game was a must-win, but just did our own thing, played our own game, and took it pitch by pitch.
The CSU men's baseball team plays this Friday home at City Park starting at 5 p.m. Well, that's all I have for you tonight. Make sure to tune in next week for more news about Ram Sports and follow our YouTube page, channel CTV 11. But don't go just yet. Up next, we have Lauren Wilson with all the entertainment you need to know.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Good evening, CSU. I hope you all had a relaxing spring break and are feeling refreshed for the rest of the semester. I'm your host, Lauren Wilson, here to bring you the latest news on all things awesome. Do you consider yourself a master of solving puzzles? Have you ever gotten out of a tricky situation using nothing but logic? I certainly haven't, but if you do happen to be left brains, you might be interested in Contraptions, an escape room gaming center located on College Avenue. The puzzle rooms at Contraptions incorporate unconventional obstacles, such as moving machinery and electronic sensors. But be quick, you have only 60 minutes to solve the puzzles and get past the high-tech hurdles. If you're confident in your mental abilities and think you can find a way out before time's up, feel free to check out the immersive gaming experience at Contraptions. The Holiday Twin Drive-In Theater is set to open for the season this Friday, March 30th. I got the chance to chat with the theater's manager and get some more details on what they have planned for the season. Let's take a look. The Holiday Twin Drive-In Theater is currently preparing for its 50th season, which will begin this Friday, March 30th. The Holiday Twin is one of 6 drive-ins remaining in the state of Colorado, and the only one in the northern region.
I think the drive-in lets everyone hang out and enjoy their time in a world where we connect together as a social media, digital age. The drive-in lets everyone kick back and relax, whether it's your family, your friends, a date night, anything like that.
As always, opening night will have both screens showing double features. Screen 1, which typically plays more recent and popular films, will be showing Ready Player One, followed by Tomb Raider. Starting after Memorial Day, the Holiday Twin will show double features 7 nights per week. The theater also has a number of community events planned for the season.
We have a few events lined up for this season, most notably a August Beer Fest. That's a bike-in movie. The biggest party that we have of the year is Mountain Standard Fallback Fest, presented by Odell Brewing. That's in November every year.
In an era of multiplexes and Netflix streaming, drive-in theaters can offer a one-of-a-kind experience for movie fans.
The drive-in's a really cool place to just enjoy a movie under the stars that really you don't get anymore.
Over the next few years, the theater plans to make renovations that will improve the quality of the drive-in without losing its nostalgic appeal. In the meantime, the best way to support the Holiday Twin is by coming often, bringing friends, and buying popcorn. The Holiday Twin Drive-In Theater opens this Friday. For more information on showtimes and location, you can visit the theater's website at holidaytwindrivein.com. Spring break is come and gone, and the season of transition is finally upon us. If you love fashion half as much as I do, then you're probably excited for all the fun outfits this time of year brings with it. Some of the fashion trends this spring are delightful and fresh. Others, not so much. I'll walk you through them, starting with the good, proceeding to the bad, and finishing with the ugly. First up, pastels. These Easter egg colors should really be in vogue year-round, but they're especially stylish between the months of March and May. I can't think of anyone who doesn't look good in pastel hues. This year, lavender is particularly popular in all shades. To give your subdued outfit a little more pop, try pairing it with a bright lip color or a bold eyeshadow palette. Sheer fabrics are also making a comeback. These slightly transparent garments can be made casual or fancy depending on your dress code needs. For an everyday look, it's easy to pair a sheer blouse and a camisole with jeans. For something a little more elegant, sheer fabrics can be layered over pretty much any kind of dress. This next trend is the first in our bad category. It's a retro accessory making a comeback as a statement piece, also known as the fanny pack. I'm completely baffled by this trend. Are people actually wearing fanny packs? I think we left those in the 90s for a reason, okay? Even if it's designer, I refuse to assault the belt region with a fanny pack. Moving on. The designers this year are also keen on mixed prints, from floral to geometric to polka dots. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they already try to make this popular in 2014? There's a reason it didn't work then, and it's not going to work now. Mixing completely different patterns is just as heinous as wearing mismatched socks. But obviously I'm not the expert. The real professionals are over at Prada, mixing paisley with leopard spots. Now it's time to address the ugly. April showers call for our final trend, which is rain boots. This particular pair was designed by Chanel, proving that this fashion house doesn't always employ the brightest bulbs in the tanning bed. These boots must have been inspired by a Ziploc bag found in a rain gutter. As for the large opening in the top of the shoe, it looks like it would be better at collecting water than repelling it. Chanel should stick to what it does best: suits, little black dresses, and perfumes that make you smell like an overpriced bouquet. If you're wondering why I didn't dress according to any of these trends, it's because I don't like being told what to do. Well, that's all I have for you tonight, Rams. Tune in tomorrow night for KCSU Local Beats, a show jam-packed full of jams. Thanks so much for watching, CSU. Have a stress-free night, and if you can, try to do something that entertains you.